Hello. Morning, welcome back to the hotel room for day 2 of the Orlando trip. Well, this is going to be another event held by KCS Kingslayer Games. And make sure you check out all the other videos. They'll be in I'll make a little playlist up above or something, I don't know. But today, we are going to be playing premium formats. I'm rocking my Steam Maidens. Doing some last minute adjustments right now because I'm a little clueless here, like... Small disclosure before I get salty at the end of the video. My locals, my area, only basically plays overdress format, the standard format. So, a little nervous here. Like, I know the basic ebbs and flows of the decks. I am a seasoned gear player, so this is always sauce, but I have no clue what I'm running into. That said, we already had the invite from yesterday. If you guys didn't catch the last video, spoilers. So this is all going to be icing on the cake. I've proven myself already. I've gotten some praise from top players, including Crow and some other people that went to Worlds and various BCSs that were attending. So, proud of myself as a gear player already. Whatever we do today is just going to be a plus. But, like I said, a little nervous here just because I don't play too much premium OV, much less the new Steam Maiden version of Gear Chronicles that's been sweeping the nation lately. See what happens. Sauce in this boy today. Since he does so well in standard, we're gonna try him out. Like, it could flip up a Sleeve Smeller or something and plus off it. We'll try it out, see what happens. Anyways, I'll see you guys down on the floor. Had to get some G Fuel at Walmart because there's no way I can sneak a can of Raise Energy on the plane. If you guys want some better energy drink though, don't forget to use code SKYRAGE to save 15% on all your Raise Energy purchases. Alright, registration's closed. Not nearly as many people as we got today. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Definitely still a little nervous, but I was doing a little playtesting with Pro and got some tips from completely messed with his name. The guy there in the match that I lost on stream yesterday, World's player. So, hopefully all goes well. Just said a little nervous for premium product experience, but let's have some fun.
Names have been posted. We need everybody at their seats so that we can have our announcements before the event begins.
From Georgia visiting us, as well from other places. So
like Kentucky.
Thank you all for supporting us. Today's event, like we said, we're running it with best cost pairing. We're gonna have 6 rounds in a modified Swiss. That means that 6 rounds until we have
It's round 1. Lost to the birthday boy over there, who I was actually going to be in the same room with before plans changed 20 times, and I had to come down here on my own. But he's playing a Thautis deck, and that is another deck that could ride down, so it was very much a good 2-game on both sides. He has a lot of cool tricks like Magnolia Quad Drive on turn 3, which I didn't see that coming. I was so happy I had the order thing ready for that. But it was a very close game. Went to game 3, went to time, and if he didn't have that restandard swing 53 triple crit, there was a chance I could have pulled it off in turn 3. Good game there. See what happens next round. Yes,
3 cats down and you haven't?
Second G assist of the game. So with all my cats. There's one over there.
First G assist was for a 1.
Yep.
And then the next one you didn't G assist immediately. You chose to hold it. You're like, we can do this because we pulled out another cat, which is awesome.
Trusting the cats.
And built your hand, and then they said no.
Exactly.
They said no.
Good deck. So yeah, we lost this one. I don't know what grade 3s are apparently. That was what, like 3 G assists that we whiffed?
3 G assists, several, like 3 gear cats.
Yep.
Several draws. First, you did hit 1 G assist for a heal.
Yeah, like turn 1 I had 0 ones in hand, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and G assist. I chose to bound this because I had plenty of source targets, and I was like, okay, cool, I have many targets. No. Never saw another one that entire game.
Canceled.
Versus like multi-crit, multi-attack again.
I don't know.
It happens.
It's what happens, but you done pissed them off.
Yeah. They said I won standard yesterday. I'm not allowed to play through today.
Canceled on Twitch. Steam Maidens.
Yeah, it's fine. That's why I'm only on YouTube.
Bring back Chronojet 2023.
Yeah. I want to get 3 more Amazing Gears.
Ban Steam Maidens. Bring back Chronojet.
Do it. Actually, no, but do it. Alright, gotta do this one quick because round 4 is already announced and getting paired. I'm over there. Just lost the mirror match. First gear match of the day, 3 rounds in. All I'm gonna say about it, like, it is such a skill matchup. When you lose that, there's just so many decisions to make about playing gear for gears. And I'm not to say the better player won, but like the player that was able to outlast longer one. And like I said, I still had some experience that like we still went to time game 3, lots of big decisions being made back and forth. I'm probably in like dead last, but we can count this one real quick. Just want to say, that was my second and fourth yesterday when I was in third. Here, still at table 1, I'm down here at table 23. That's all. Alright, finally won a game. I mean, it's round 4 and opponent dropped, so too little, too late, whatever, but I won one match, not completely useless. Opponent was playing Jewel Knights, and that deck is super scary. Like, the fact that you use Crystal Luster is probably one of the better strategies in the game, I'd say, not because it's good on its own, but because it steals the skills of your Vanguard. And essentially says that, like, if you find a good grade 3 to run, you give that grade 3 triple drive, all of a sudden your whole field gets the triple door ability if you G-guard, which you're going to go to GB2 right away. You cannot let that deck stride. That is the only way to beat it. Seds did win the second and third game, so what a match. Good for me. Alright, so round 5, again went to time. It was like the third round going to time or whatever. This time I didn't even make it to game 3. We went to time on game 2. I was playing against Night Rose player, not Night Rose, freaking Beatrice, guest starring Night Rose. Shout out to all Grand Blue players. Cole, if you still played this game, that'd be you. And yeah, game 1 took forever, went down to like the very last few cards, but unfortunately with that, I don't know what his name is, it was the stride that gives you triple door skill. And with their chain attacks and making huge numbers, that is a very scary stride to face. Especially when you have 2 consecutive turns of it. That said, yeah, like, went to game 2 in time. We were on turn 2 when overtime was called after, supposed to be like 0, 1, 2, 3, and then after that damage die. We were on turn 2, middle of his turn, and just came over, so overtime was over. Cool. Could have been a draw right there. I don't know if that would have changed anything, but could have been a draw. But because he won game 1, he was automatically given game 2. Hey, Vanguard. And probably in dead last of the people that didn't drop. Steam Maidens, best deck in the format. I'll give you guys deck profile in just a sec, but I really don't think you want to see it because I feel like absolute trash for playing this deck today.
And then he proceeded to lose the next 3 games after that and ruined my tiebreak game. I was so upset.
Okay, we're back in the room now, so it's deck profile time. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way because apparently this thing needs a microphone. If I record with it without a mic, there's going to be a lot of weird background noise, so handheld. Should have brought the tripod thing, like I brought the base, but I didn't bring the connector because I thought I was going to use this because I'm smart. Anyways, Chrono Dram. Best card in the deck. It's the starter right in the SP. It's the boy. Oh, I want to do this with Classic Jet so bad, but that'll be another deck another day. If you guys want to see a profile on that, make sure you subscribe for more. I will, even if I have to do it through the deck builder, I will make the Classic Chrono Jet with Crest. Coming soon. I'm just going with Force 1 today. I literally only brought my Force 1 markers because I did not want to trick myself into going Force 2. My thought process here is I have a small attack deck, so I want to make the attacks big. I don't want to make the attacks hurt more. From what I saw from other gear players, they're also running Force 1, so I think it's the right choice, but I can see running Force 2 if you don't care about defensive triggers. I just feel like that's too big of an issue. Of course, it's not part of the deck, really, but it's like, it's the one time I get to show it off. Look at it. I got this literally right during the reboot. I just barely get to play it. I guess we do Juzon first. That's what's lined in here. Let's go ahead and take that out. Alright, so Juzon first. We're gonna go some G-guards. We got this boy. This is the newest one. He basically counts as a perfect guard if you're able to discard cards equaling grade 6. It's a little risky because like minimum you're looking at 2 card discard for it, which is what, -2 I think? 1 equals out G-Guard and then 2 cards from hands, as opposed to 1 for normal perfect guard, so... I did end up using it a couple times, especially against some of the matches where they had a Baldor-like effect and I had to discard multiple cards anyways, so not bad. He stays, we like him. That I got to use like once. There was one more matchup where I could have used it, so misplay there by me, whatever. I'm still learning the deck. Basically, you can play this by binding cards from your field equaling grade 3 or greater instead of discarding a heal like you usually do for G-Guard. And so you get +5 shield for every card bound this way, so good. You get a 30k shield, not bad. Like I said, I ended up using this to chunk a couple of attacks, so not bad, not bad. I've seen people running 2, I can see why. I don't run 2 because I run this bad card. I played him twice the entire tournament. One when I was testing against Crow, and I learned that is their choice, so like, only do this if they have 1 card to target in back row. The other time it did help out was when I was playing against the Grand Blue deck. I was spun their Ghosty booster, so it basically cut off 2 attacks because it needed that booster in order to chain into another attack and for that attack to hit. So situational, it's a bad header around. Once again, I can't wait to play normal Chronojet again. Of course, we got the best girl. For every card faced by Jizo gets +5, so huge shield if you use this late in the game. Best girl. We run 2 of her. This would be a little better if I did run the Heritage engine. So real quick discussion on the Heritage thing. I was discussing my deck with Sakib, the Worlds player that I keep on talking about, and a couple other people before tournament. We were talking about how Heritage is a viable strategy just because you have some matchups that stun your board, like say a Mega Colony, something like that, and other things like Link Joker that make you completely neutralized. So in those cases, having that extra turn is good. It is a good card in general, like Mystery Flare Turbo, need I say more, but you just have to dedicate a certain amount to the G-Zone for that, and I just didn't have that on me. Like, it took me until the very last second of packing and redoing my deck before I decided to opt out of what was going to be a Heritage-based strat. Would I have changed things today? I'm not sure. I don't know when I'd even be flipping ZTBs over. You can't groovy strat it because you're not running a Chronojet base Hearts, and all the other stuff is going to require you to run a flip, which half your strats do, but you can be getting there way too slow for it to matter. So definitely viable. Once I get home, once I figure out things, I will do a Chronojet's Gear Groovy Heritage base build, so looking forward to that. But today we are running this stuff. Then last G-Guard rerun is Rafana. Includes a 25k shield if you call a grade 0 out of deck. This works great with TikTok Worker. Not so great with any other card, but it is there if you need it. As for cards that we pretend are important, even though we're in grade 2 meta, I have 3 of this good girl. That's not her. Why 3, you may ask? Because everyone runs 4. Because I only run 3, and like realistically most games you only get 1 to 2 strides, so it's not gonna matter. As long as you have 1 flipped up, you're good. A quick reminder on skills for those guys that don't know matchups. She basically lets you flip up a stride when she attacks to blank a card out into the buy zone and call 2 cards onto the field. They can be anywhere, they can be over open circles, they can be back row, they can be boosters to set up columns, and ideally sets multi-attack on its own, which is great because it gives you a 5-attack turn for whatever reason at bare minimum. And of course your second effect, if you happen to have a grade 3 attacking from the rear guard, call it from the G-zone onto that circle. So this further extends your attacks off that second skill. Really good. Like I said, as long as you get 1 copy up for her second skill, you're solid, but is really your first turn stride to start your combos off. This dork is probably the only other card that you stride right now. It's basically just an alternate to Shlishma if you don't have a board to create, although you will flip up a Shlishma for it. On attack, you're able to time leap a number of cards equal to the number of cards face up in your G-zone. It's good for first turn if you have like a single card to combo into, like I did that a couple times with Cat, to basically go into the grade 2 that makes a board and created a 4-attack turn off of that alone. Or he does scale later on if you do have a board and you know what's left in your deck. So always pay attention to your deck, always pay attention to your cards. Time Leap is legit strat, but like it works better on Time Leap based deck. This is not a Time Leap based deck, you just get multi-attack, if that makes any sense. This never saw play. It's cute in theory, especially against something like an Archon B matchup where you'll have a bunch of cards in your mind zone. But basically just calls an extra card out of binds or adds a card from bind back to your hand. Is their Time Beast. you can run him in a Gear Groove based deck. It'll also run this card. He was my tech for a day. I hit him once and I won the game I played it, so it does work. You guys missed my profile off day one. This is one of our new strides who basically says you kind of last one. Flip up anything. Once again, if you do that turn one, you're going to flip that up. If you do that any other turn, I don't know. So you tuck the card back in the deck and add some of those 1 grade higher. So pseudo time leap as opposed to normal time leap, this does set you up. You could do stupid stuff like call a trigger, put that trigger back in deck, call cat, and in addition to that, he is going to give anything on the board +5 for every card face up in your G zone. So it's like an offensive version of the really good G run. Super good, punishes late game if you're able to survive that long. And the one game that I got to play him, it definitely did work out, as opposed to this guy who did not work out in the game I played him. Guard restrict, gets a crit, VOG. It's mid. Like, I like it in theory, but you have to know your opponent's going to only have grade 1 and higher cards in their hand. Otherwise, it's just a waste of a counterblast in his face. Like, it works in Groovy build, but like, there's going to be better cards. Finally, I thought I was going to go into like one time I never had the chance to. This is your counter for the Gridora matchup and anything else that stuns you. Simply because of his ability to move 4 cards on the board into the bind zone. Once again, setting up for things that do bind-based stuff like half this deck does. And it gives you a re-ride, so he'll ride you back into one of your Seer strides, say like a Time Leap Dragon. Good combo. Not going to run into as often as you want to, but like, it's a really good piece. You run this as a tech lineup always. But of course, because this is a format where strides don't actually matter, even though it's a format where you get strides, let's talk about the main deck and how that works. Disc Girl is your win condition, I think. She has the ability to pay cost of stride for free, as long as you discard any single card from your hands. And once you do that, you're able to ride back down to grade 2 or lower from your soul or drop zone at the end of your turn. So this gets you to your ride down strat for the deck, which basically means your opponent's not going to be able to stride unless they play grade 3s first, in which case you just play grade 3s after that and go into this little pile. Essentially, that's from what I understand how the format works, that like, you want to ride down, you want to prevent your opponent from striding and doing their cool gimmicks. This is our way of doing that, and it also helps that you're able to combo the cards like this out of it. I run 2 of them. Time Leaper is literally this card as a grade 4 unit, except with Twin Drive. So when he attacks, you're going to put a card back into the deck, call something 1 grade higher, and that card will get +10. Combo attacks. This is your combo attack card, and you run 2 of it because if you are able to grade 2 game long enough, you're going to want to have multiple turns for them. You're off grade 3 for the deck, which been told and not told to run multiple copies of her. I figured that LO was your main strat, so you want to sit on her. But if you are able to ride grade 3 afterwards and actually be on normal grade 3, this is probably your target just because of her first and second abilities. If you are struggling with stride and stuff, she is able to still create multi-attacks by binding cards from the drop zone and calling them out. So this is what gives you an option to extend if you can't stride, and if you are actually into the grade 3 game. And in addition to that, it's a beater on rear guard, I guess. That's more what I use it for in this. We run 3 Allurers. One of them is this one. She's a G guard. She's a 25k shield. Do you remember when I said this 25k shield? That's what she is, except you don't have to discard a heal for her. But you can't discard a heal for her if she's in the drop zone, which is hilarious because she's actually a G guard. When placed just like normal Allure, you're able to cycle a card from the drop zone back into the deck. This could help you set the trigger, this could help you set him back in, which I did a couple times to help extend your grade 2 game further. And you have 25k shields. Once again, these opinions to run her and not run her. I found a lot of success with her. Like, this was one of the things I was happy about. The Tech 1 Allure was one of the things I was happy about with House Belgrand. Oh, this card's good, George. In addition to being probably one of the cutest cards in the deck, because look at this freaking red-haired waifu motorcycle riding. This girl, when you call her, combasting 1, calls out her Legion Mate from the deck. And this is one of the stupidest cards in the game. On call, check top 3 for any Steam main card, add to your hand, and then bomb back the rest of them. This gives you a stack that you're never going to get to because your Chronicle doesn't stack anymore. But more importantly, it's a free card in hand unless you whiff, which you will whiff several times. And yeah, free cards are always good. In addition to that, he's going to get +1 for every card in your bind zone that you're continuously ramping up, which makes him a really good booster. And if she is boosted in general, not strictly by this guy, he's a good card, but not strictly just in boosted in general. And you on that value, Soul Blast 1, reveal your top 2, add 1 of those to your hand, the other goes to bind zone, further increasing your binding binds, and further increasing your plus. Between these two, you have a really solid plus engine, and there's a reason a lot of people want to see this card banned. For the other premium maidens, we also run 3 of this girl and 3 of this girl. They basically share the same second skill where after they attack, if your Vanguard is a Steam Maiden, then you can Counter Blast 1, bind it, call the next grade up from the bind zone. So, gives you good chain attacks, like reverse time leap, I guess. Just that they have their own skills. She, while on Vanguard, lets you Soul Blast 1 to bind a card from hand and draw a card. If you bound a trigger with that, then you also get to draw another card. So it's +2 turn you ride, essentially makes you draw 3 cards for the cost of Soul Blast 1, bind 1. It's Graceful Charity. Then when she's placed in the bind zone, you're able to bind a card from your drop zone. You get +3 for each grade of the card bound. So she sets herself up. Like, you ideally want to have the grade 3 drop zone when you play this card from bind, so you're able to bind that and continue the combo. If you want to do it this way, if they want to draw the extra card, ride, skill, bind, she's set up in bind zone, then when she's able to attack, bind, call, thing. You combo. You wombo, you combo, but you don't combo as hard as other combo decks do. I like these two a lot, even though they do rely on Steam Maiden, which means cards like this I'm about to show you will give you a dead turn on them. So yeah, non-Steam Maiden cards that we run this deck. Here's 4 of them. Starting things off with Karunta, when he's placed Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose any player's rear guard. Send it back to deck, then call the next grade up. Projet Z on a stick, I love it. He can target either player. This is the one card I was talking about earlier with the Time Leaper Dragon, and then when he attacks, you get to send one of your grade 1s back into the deck, say like a cat that you just set up or something. Your dog, what up? Use the skill, target another grade 1, can be either yours or your opponent's, and then you go, yo, what up? Here's another grade 2. Or that can be any grade 2 really, but like that's, shut up. He is a rear guard only skill though, so that's why I only run the 1 of, but when you hit it, when you have the skill, it procs. Also a really good one though that I wish there was more space for. This is like one of your set 1 for Gear Chronicle cards for VE that says when it attacks you can bind a card from your drop zone, once again setting up your bind zone. You sense a theme with this deck. And when you do that, your opponent can only call grade 0s, then he goes to only draw cards. So refunds himself, draws you a card. Very solid, one of the better cards that Gear Chronicle got out of the VE, I think. Then my final tech, which came into play a lot, we run 2 Zyed. This guy says when he's placed, you get the Soul Blast 1, discard a card, draw a card, and based on the card you discard, you can also retire something your opponent controls. This is not a spin, unfortunately, but it equals itself out with a draw effect. This works on Vanguard, so when you ride down from the girl, you can ride into him and plus off it. And cool combo I found with this is, say that you're on the boy once again, and your turn. Okay, cool, I have to leap down to something that's grade 2 or lower. Beep, boop. Oh, by the way, skill, Soul Blast. Whoop. You have just enough to activate him every single time, as long as you're able to keep on rewriting. So, huge plus, he does go through your soul really fast though, so if the soul-based effects are gonna matter, maybe not, but like, I found this is like easily one of the better cards that I was running today. Just for the control of it and the draw power. You draw so much this deck. You have so much filter draw, it's ridiculous. Moving on to rest supports. Perfect guards, we run 1, 3, classic, Arlims. I saw a lot of players using the new one today because it does have the feel that if you had one less in hand, just like all the rest of them, but like I figured the counter charge would help a little bit. It did help a little bit. That's all there's to say about it. You play against cards that have that triple drive ability a lot in this format. Got 1 TikTok worker. This came to play, I think, once, maybe twice all tournament. But like, those of you guys that have played any Gear Chronicle know. He gives you multi-attacks. He enables time leap wombo combos. It's a very good card. Thought about running an extra one, but I just didn't know how much the time leap would extend anything, so. One of those was running. If I was playing a little differently, I'd probably run more than 1 copy. Then the final card that I ran, which is a little bit of attack, more control stuff. I was playing a lot of control apparently between this and the Zayas. And when she's placed, spin a card back into the deck and call 1 grade lower. It's like Killabone. Has a grade 1, but is GB lock, which does suck a little bit. Might cut the 1 because of that, because of the grade 2 game, but like when it popped, and she did help out a lot. Finally, let's go into triggers. I ran crits, a lot of crits. Run for this guy, he's the one that you discard first ride. Run for this guy, he is a counter charger, he is a 5k, 10k, so it kind of makes the numbers weird, but it also gives you that element of unpredictability. And the counter charge helps a lot. Plus he's Zodiac Time Beast. Then I did a weird 2-2 split between the Soul one that, I don't know if he mattered too much. I don't think I ever procced him, but like, if you have soul problems, you can feel this. And the one that I literally never use, that also goes to Soul, but it goes to Soul at GB once again for the Grade 2 game. It goes to Soul plus 10 to your Vanguard or whatever. It's good. We're about to get a better one when Heart Thump gets trained or whatever, and I'll have to play current gen for that. Then finally, the heal triggers. We run 2 of her, because she is a Steam main, and you are able to search this with Kitty Cat. And we run 2 of the most useless card in the world, for this deck specifically. So this is your Heal Guardian. If you play it turn 2 or earlier, you're able to make this a nice little plus 10 to your Vanguard until end of turn, or it gives up the minus 2 crit. Good in situations. However, because this deck likes to ride Grade 3 immediately and then go back down to Grade 2, absolutely useless. Him being a Grade 3 is cool for stride fodder. However, because you do not stride in the stride format, completely useless. So basically, he's 15k shield that could maybe be stride fodder sometime. Like, you don't not run these. They're still good. It's just, in this kind of build, I would much rather be running 4 Louis straight up. So that was my failure of a day 2 here in the KCS events in Orlando. Like I said, I didn't do bad. A lot of my games would go into game 3/time, and a lot of my opponents said, yeah, you did a good job, just bad luck, whatever. But long and short of it, I'm good at Gear Chronicle. I know how to play Sea Maidens, but I just was dropping games left and right, and I'm glad I got my invite day 1 because that made it feel a lot better that I was wasting tournament entry today. Of course, we're not done here in Orlando. Tomorrow we're going to be running over to Universal somewhere back there in the distance. Can't wait. Finally get to ride Velocicoaster. Supposedly one of the best coasters in the world. Plus all the new Harry Potter stuff. Plus they're Born, I guess? I think Born's pretty new. Like, there's a decent amount of stuff for me to be doing, and I'm really excited to go revisit for probably the last time before Epic Universe becomes a thing. And tonight, I don't know if I want to spend all the money for Ubers and parking mission and everything, but I might go to a fun spot here in Kissimmee. They have 4 coasters, including the Mind Blower, which is a non-RMC wooden looping coaster. And they also have Hurricane, it's one of those larger model, high modelers that's supposed to be really good. That'll probably be worth checking out if I feel like spending a lot more money on this trip than I had originally planned. Make sure you subscribe to see all that stuff go live, because you know we do all sorts of coaster and card game content here on the channel. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and always embrace the infinite.